my crafty besties. It's Amanda here, the card making coach. I'm back with my second video. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you liked my first video. This video is going to be all about the tools you will need for card making. I will go over some of the things I have laid out here on my desk and just explain to you all the things that you might need if you decide to go ahead with card making. The first one is going to be cardstock. So I'm just going to bring in a few pieces of cardstock here. Let's see what I have. I have 3 different pieces. This one is a black cardstock. It was an 8.5 by 11-inch cardstock. And I went ahead and I cut it so that you can see when you buy an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of cardstock, you can get 2 cards out of it, and you can fold your card this way and you can fold your card this way. So that's 2 cards out of this one. This is 65 pound, and I believe I got this one at Walmart. This one is heavier weight. It is 12 by 12, and I got this one on Amazon. It's 110 pounds, so you can see that it's pretty thick, pretty sturdy. And also, I've cut this one in half. It was a 12 by 12. I cut in half. And I just want to show you that you can make 2 cards out of this one as well. And I made a 6 by 6 card with this one. So all I did was cut it down in half. I took my little score tool, scored it down the middle, and then I got my 6 by 6 card. The next one is also 110 pound, I believe. This is a really beautiful color. I love this color. I got this one at Michael's. This one also came in an 8.5 by 11, but I cut this one down this time to make a 5 by 7 card. So when I open it up, my card is 10 inches along here and 7 inches along here, and then I just scored it and folded it in half. Like I said in my first video, you don't have to have a scoreboard. You can just fold your paper and score it along the edge, make a nice crisp edge. So that's all I have for cardstock at the moment. Now I'm just going to go over the couple of paper trimmers that I have. This first one is a Fiskars, and it's a rotary trimmer. Just move this out of the way here. And as you can see, this one has the arm, comes out, goes out to 15 inches. And this arm comes up so you can place your paper in here. And it has a rotary wheel. These wheels last a lot longer than the other precision one I'm going to show you next. But the precision one also has its advantages. This one has a little rubber channel that comes up so that when the markings get too deep, you can turn it, place it back, and then just go about cutting again, and you can turn it around onto the other side. I would recommend, if you were going to get a paper trimmer like this, to go ahead and buy extra blades. It just makes sense to have extra blades on hand, especially if you're somewhere where you can't readily get to a craft store. So that's the rotary trimmer. The next trimmer is going to be the Fiskars Precision Trimmer. This one is also has an arm on it, comes out up to 15 inches. It has a little locking mechanism here, so your arm can't fly up and the blade will come off. So make sure that that's in the open position when you're ready to do any cutting. And here's your small blade. It's very tiny, very sharp. You definitely want to get some replacement blades for this if you're going to be using one of these trimmers. The big advantage of this is if you have to cut along the inside of your cardstock, because this arm has a ruler along here. So if I wanted to cut down my piece of paper, let me just grab a piece of paper to show you. If I wanted to cut at 3 inches, but then I wanted to come down to 3 inches to start, or even 2 inches, I can just go to 2 inches here, sink my blade, and then go down to, let's say, 4 inches. This is something that you can't do with a rotary trimmer. And as you can see, I've cut in between, and that's where you're going to get some of those fun fold cards that you see sometimes. They have different panels. This is how they achieve that look. So those are the 2 rotary trimmers that I have. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about are scissors. I'm just going to lay them out. Got my large, my small, and my spring-loaded. Generally, I use the large for cutting adhesives, cutting double-sided tape. I'll just grab my double-sided tape here. This tape you can tear, but if you didn't want to tear it, you can just use your big scissors to cut it so it has a clean cut on the edge. You can also use it for cutting larger pieces of paper if you wanted to cut, instead of having little tiny cuts, cut along. And you can get a fairly clean cut. It's not perfect, but if you had a ruler and you drew your line, you'd be able to get a nice clean cut out of that. Then these ones are EK tools. Obviously, they have a little bit of a point to the end. These are great for getting into those smaller areas that you need to cut. They're great for getting around the little bits of ephemera. That's the stickers or paper pieces that we talked about in the last video. And you can use these for fussy cutting. I'll show you what fussy cutting is in just a moment. So I could use these, but I did used to use these scissors for fussy cutting, but I upgraded to these. This is a Fiskars. I actually got this at, I think I got it at Canadian Tire. It's for trimming, trimming plants. You let this go, and it's excellent for hand control, wrist control when you want to fussy cut something. So fussy cutting is when you're cutting all around the edge of an image and you want it to look nice and no jagged edges. This is the tool that you want to use, and it's great for left-handed people. I'm left-handed, and sometimes I find that scissors can be a little bit awkward, so this one is always a great choice, and it comes with a nice little cap so you don't hurt yourself. And I just happened to mention fussy cutting. I'm just going to bring this in just for a moment. So this is a piece of collage paper. I found this in a pad from the dollar store. I thought it was super cute. So I took my little sheet of paper, cut it into 4s. Just cut my paper up into 4s. And then I took these scissors and I cut all the way around and I got this image. I've been fussy cutting for a long time. It's not something that I'm particularly good at, but these scissors here, these shears, are excellent. They get around all those little tight edges, especially with that really sharp point. You just have to be very careful that you don't cut yourself. In a different video, I'll show you all about fussy cutting and how to do it. I just wanted to give you an example of what the scissors can do. Okay, that's scissors. I'm just going to put those to the side. The next thing on my list is my scoreboard. Like I said before, this is something, if you're going to continue on and become a card maker and do it as a full-time hobby, even a part-time hobby, you should get yourself one of these scoreboards. They are excellent. They're great for all kinds of fun fold cards. You put your paper on, and let's see, we'll just use this tool that it came with. This is like the bone folder I showed you in the last video, only it's just a little small compact one. Sits right there, and that way you don't lose it. It doesn't go missing in your stash, in your pile. And you just take it, and wherever the measurement is that you need it to be, starting at the top with the notch, I like to try to keep it a little bit perpendicular this way, and straight down. And that gives us a nice score line, and that way then we can fold our cardstock. Sometimes you can fold it back and forth. This particular cardstock, you would probably need to fold back and forth a couple of times, and that helps break up any fibers and gives you the ability to fold your card a whole lot easier and makes it easier for putting in your envelope. Okay, so that is the scoreboard. There's not really a whole lot to say about it. It's fabulous for doing fun fold cards, fabulous for scoring if you want to get those nice crisp clean lines, and it's always there, always at the ready on the side of my desk because I use it quite often. It's something that I would use just about every single day. The next thing I'm going to talk about are adhesives. Just gotta take a little drink. I apologize if I have a little bit of a something in my throat, but I'm just getting over a cold. So the next thing we're going to talk about is adhesives. I know I spoke about this in my first video. I thought I'd just run through it one more time. Let's see. Just going to gather what I need here. Okay, so you have your handy dandy glue runner. And I showed this in the last video, but if you didn't see that one, you can go back and watch it, or you can just continue to watch this one. This one is like a double-sided tape, but on a roller. And it's my go-to every single time I make a card. I'm always using this one because it's fast, it's easy, there's no mess, and I always keep a bunch on hand at all times. I picked this one up at Walmart. It has a little cover, but usually the cover gets lost. And they come in a 4-pack for, I think, like $15. I know it can be a little bit pricey, but these are great. I love those. Then you have your double-sided tape, which I showed earlier. You can get these in different widths. This one I think is 1/4 of an inch, which is pretty ideal. You can get them smaller. You can get them 1/8 of an inch. You can get them even wider than this. And it has a sticky back here. And it also has, when you take the backing off of the tape, it's double-sided. So this is great for sometimes when you need a little bit of a stronger hold, or sometimes you just don't want to use glue runner. You got a tight spot and you just need to have some double-sided adhesive. This works great. Then we have our dimensional squares. There's all different kinds of dimensionals you can get. Let me just grab some from my little cart here. These are smaller mini ones. They're dimensionals. I think I got these from Stampin' Up. These are great for little small pieces, and as you can see, they have a little bit of an oomph to them, gives you a little bit of a level up on your paper. And the same thing with these, and I bought these at Dollarama. They were $1.25 for 4 of these squares, I think, and they're already pre-cut, which I like, so you just take your scissors, go along, and if you don't need this big piece, you can just cut them again, however small or however big you like it. and they're nice and stiff, they're nice and sturdy, they're made for picture frames. So this one is a great choice if you're on a budget and you want to get some dimensionals, and especially if you're somewhere where you can't get to a craft store. The next one is going to be the Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. This one's my absolute favorite liquid glue to use. It's the best. It has a precision tip. It did take me a while to get used to this. I have another one here. Sorry that it's all messy, but obviously it's very well loved. But you can get a small size and a large size. And let me just get a colored piece of paper so you can see how it comes out. Just gotta shake it a little. There we go. So it comes out pretty thin. Sometimes you can just dot it depending on what you want to do. If you have little small pieces that you want to put on your card. It just takes a little bit of practice to get the hang of this. So don't worry about that. Just practice on some scrap paper and you'll be fine. It took me a little while, but I did get the hang of it finally. This one here I didn't show in my last video. I kind of forgot that I had it because I don't use it a whole lot, but I do use it sometimes. This is a Zig two-way glue pen. So even on the tube it says, glue is blue when wet, but turns clear when dry. So you can have a wet bond or a dry bond if you want to move something around, if you want to have it temporary. So it has a little tip like this. You push it down, hopefully you can see, and the glue comes out. And you can be very, very gentle with it and get in all those little intricate spots that you need to get into where you can't get a double-sided tape or a glue runner. This one, I think I picked it up at a craft place in the town, next town over to me. You could probably get this on Amazon as well if you needed to. Okay, moving along. I'm just going to put this to the side so I don't get all messed up. I'm going to talk about a few tools I have on hand here. This is a paper piercing mat. It's not what I use it for. I use it for a mat for when I'm stamping. It really helps to give the paper some stability, and it does have a little bit of give to it. So when I'm stamping, I use this a lot. You don't necessarily have to have one, but it's a very nice, thick foam. It's from Stampin' Up. I got this a very long time ago. But if you did want to use it for paper piecing, or paper piercing, sorry, this is a little poking tool. I call it a pokey tool. And you can take your pokey tool and make holes in your paper if you so desire. I don't really use it for that purpose, but that's what you could use that for. The pokey tool I generally use for my double-sided adhesives. So if I'm going to, or my dimensionals. So if I want to lay my dimensional down here, and my nails are extremely short, they break, they chip. So I'll just take my little pokey tool and run it under my backing. It comes off quite nicely. Same thing with the two-way tape. Two-way tape. Put it on your project, whatever your project may be. And sometimes it can be the real dickens to get off. So I take my little pokey tool and pull off my backing. And then there's my double-sided tape. So this is an excellent tool. It's very inexpensive. Not sure where I located it, but should be pretty easy to find. Maybe on Amazon or at a craft store. The next tool I'm going to talk about is this pickup tool, though I haven't really used it yet. This is called the Take Your Pick tool from Stampin' Up. Same idea as this one, only this metal part is a lot thicker. So I don't know, I prefer the thin one, but I thought, hey, why not? I haven't never used one of these before. So I figured, why not? I haven't quite figured out how to get the sticky part on the end here to stay or to not come out. But the sticky part is for picking up small embellishments off of your paper. Is sticky. And let me see if I have some embellishment here that I can show. Here we go. These are some half-back pearls. So I should be able to pick this up. Might have to twist a little bit. Oh, it's stuck to the bottom. There we go. Not the best. I would just use my fingers. If I had something really tiny, maybe I would use it. I'm just getting used to it. I haven't really used it a whole lot, so I'm going to give it a few more chances. It might be great for even smaller pieces than what I just used it for. So that's called the Take Your Pick tool. And that came with different parts for this end here. I'm not sure where they're located right now, but they're somewhere in my craft room. The next thing I'm going to talk about is reverse tweezers. So reverse tweezers are a wonderful tool to help you pick up those little itty bitty pieces that you need to pick up, and you just can't get it up off of your mat or your card, and you need to transfer it over. It's great for holding on to pieces of paper when you're trying to glue. So they open this way. You just put pressure, and then when you release the pressure, it squeezes and you can pick up what you need. And then you can run your glue across and then put it onto your project. These are invaluable. I would definitely suggest getting some of these. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier. This one's EK Tools, and I'm almost positive I got this one from Amazon. Let's see, moving along. I'm going to just talk about, this is a paper punch, and this is a corner rounder paper punch. I have a few other different ones. I'll show that in a different video. But just to give you an idea of what a paper punch looks like, it has a little lever, and you have your different, shows you your different corner rounding sizes. Sorry. You can see when you put your paper in and push, then it will cut that out. So let's have a look here. So I want to round the corner of this paper. I'm going to use my 4mm. So I'm going to stick my paper in, clip, and it makes a nice rounded corner. I want to use my 10mm. Stick my corner in, punch, and it makes a bit of a more rounded. This one's a little bit more subtle. This one's a little bit more bolder, I guess you could say. And then we have the 7mm, which is in the middle. And there we go. So sometimes I like to, when I make my cards, have a nice rounded edge. Just gives it a little bit more professional look depending on what you're going for. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is, I have a bunch of markers to show you, a few different pens, but I really wanted to show you this one. This is a white Jelly Roll pen. It's not actually Jelly Roll itself because I just don't like Jelly Roll, but everybody has their own opinion. So when you see white markings on a dark card, it's done with one of these white pens. I usually prefer to warm it up on my skin just to make sure that it goes, it's running. And then I can take my dark cardstock and let's say I want to make a few dashes along the edge to make that stitched look. Now this cardstock has two sides to it. It has a textured side and it has more of a smooth side, so I would probably go with the smooth side. You can do either or, whatever you like. And I'm just gonna use my ruler here and I'm gonna make my little series of dashes. So as you can see, it gives you that stitched look that sometimes you see on cards. You wonder, how do they do that? They did it with one of these white pens. If they didn't do it with a die cut or a metal die, which I can show you in another video. I won't do it in this one because it would take too long. But I think that's all the tools that I wanted to show you for now. I did show you my ruler the last time, so I won't bother to show you that one. I just wanted to give you a quick idea of some of the tools that I use every single time that I make a card and something that you might be interested in. So if you wanted to save this save this video, put it under your watch later playlist, and you can go back and just take notes and see what it is that you might want to pick up. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the comments. And yeah, that's it for me. So thank you for all my crafty besties out there who took the time to listen to this video. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and there will be more coming. And we're going to make some really great cards together. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye.